All right, I think I'd do a little wrap up video of all the bottles dug at the Newport dump. Start off with Navy bottles, Medical Department, USN. Navy base was right around the corner from this dump, so I got a total of 16, including, let's see, the big one in the back, one of my favorites, 500 cc's. I've seen them, but they're scarce. And this one here with the wide mouth is very rare. I think I only see like one other on Worth Point from years and years ago. Slightly more common are the 200 cc sizes. Got four of those, including two with some nice fire damage distortion going on there. Probably the most common size with this one, the 50 cc's. I got four of those. And then here's the 100 cc. I got only one in clear, surprisingly. And of course, that beautiful amber one. These are really hard to find. Get a focus on that. There we go. And it had a ground stopper, so hopefully I'll find a stopper to put in there. Same with this one here. That's a nice 200 cc size. And then, of course, finishing off with the little guys, little 25 cc's. I think this is the smallest size I've seen them make. Got three of those. One has a little distortion. Yeah, 16 total. Not bad at all. Right here is the Dundee Marmalade Haul. Quite a few of these beauties too. My favorite probably is this odd squat size. Again, in England you find them, but not so much in the U.S. And then this nice, I love the color on this one. A little fire damage, turn it a weird gray color, and it's kind of like transitions here, like almost like alligator skin comes to mind. Pretty cool. Some crazy ones, crazy. So this is a newer style with the 1 pound net. Found two of those right here and here. And then all the rest here, varying degrees of crazing. They're all just beautiful. And most of them have an O for the trademark date code. I got a P here, this one's a K, another P, and an N, and the new one has a V. Yeah, both the new ones have a V, so I wonder if I can like work on getting a date, some estimates for the dates for the numbers. I mean the letters. Sorry. I don't have exact dates, but I know the dump was right around like 1900 to 1910. So narrowed it down a little bit. But all right, here they are. Okay, here we have the John M. Callahan family. And these were interesting because before this dump, these weren't known to exist. And as you can see, we found quite a few, and not just me, all the other diggers that went there mostly found these as well. So we have, my favorite probably is a big size, which I think is unique, and the largest one known. The other ones are a little more readily found. Got this size, two of those. I got one of this one, and then the most common size seems to be this, which is probably like a 4-inch or 3 1/4 maybe. And then one smaller guy in the front there. And I think another digger found a different size that I don't have here. So yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes from one dump. Pretty cool. Here we have some of the scarcer ones I found in here. Not, at least the woods here aren't exactly rare bottles in of themselves, but to dig in this dump, they are pretty hard to come by. My guess is they're a little on the older side when dump was first being used. So we got the wood with the plain writing, which is a little scarcer, and then got two versions with the fancy writing. This is actually a little more of a nice looking cursive, and this one is, I think, a little more scratchy and hard to read. And then the only one I found of the Emo Blumenkrantz, which is nice, that's a scarcer bottle, hence why I only found one. But I think a total of 3 were dug in the dump that I know of. So, actually, hang on, I gotta redo this. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm just gonna continue that mess up I did last time. This one in the back, I forgot all about for a second. How could I? Look at this awesome piece here. This is a 32-ounce Emo S Blumenkrantz, the largest pharmacy bottle from Newport and one of the largest from Rhode Island. I think there's only maybe one or two other pharmacies that use that size. So when that came out, that was one of the best finds in the whole dump by far. And so I do have the normal size one, that giant one, and there's two others that I might be able to buy one to add to the collection shortly. But yeah, that big one is crazy. Right, these are some of my favorites here that were pretty hard to come by in the dump. The H.A. Kalkman graduate in pharmacy. So we've only known, and before this dump, there was Kalkman bottles, but they were of Kalkman's pharmacy, probably dating to the 1910s era. These are all pre-1910, roughly, and the only ones that said graduate in pharmacy. Also, what's missing is a broken citrate magnesia style I dug. It's already been boxed somewhere. I can't find it, but that was also a major crier. But I got a cute little size. I think that's a ½ ounce. I got 3 of the larger ones. Only one's mint, the rest have issues, and then a damaged smaller size here as well. So those are all quite hard to come by, even in that dump. And I'm very happy that I found the ones I did. Here we have some of the classics from Newport. Frank L. Powell, chemist, Newport. These were common before the dump, and I was surprised I didn't dig more of them, but I didn't because he died in 1901, and the dump dates about 1900 onwards. So all these have WTCO, which is a 1901 and after trademark. None of them go before that. So these are ones they had made pretty much the year he died. And obviously not going to throw them away once he died. They'd use them up and then they order a new batch of bottles. So I got 3 of the pretty common sizes. This one actually was a new size for me, surprisingly. And a little smaller one here. So yeah, not bad. And then on to the newer ones. So once Frank Powell died, it became the F.L. Powell Pharmacy, as you can see by these examples. These all date probably till 1901, 1910, give or take. So before this dump, this was the only one that was known in this kind of like an oval with a flat sides design. And I was looking for one of those. I was really hoping to find one. I didn't find one until I found this one first, which is a more typical shape, but it wasn't listed. So I found a large one there, 2 smaller ones, and the smallest, of course, no top. But still, a very nice set. I did finally find this one at the end. And for honorable mention, we have this here, which is a super crier. You can see Powell Pharmacy up top, and it has, I think, Thames and Pelham Streets, Newport, Rhode Island. So there was a totally different cobalt style, which I would love to find intact, but at least here we know it exists, and maybe one day it'll show up. But for now I have these guys. And we're not done with Powell yet. We have one more set to go over. Here you have some of my favorites I dug at the dump. This is the It Pays to Trade at Powell's, which is a really cool slogan. And you can see here, it's got a nice caption bubble around it. I love these since I first saw them, I don't know, 15 years ago. And add on a mortar and pestle. That style, they're tough balls to come by. I have a few, but when I dug one, I was super excited. I think I dug these 2 at first. And also we found these, which are also new examples. It Pays to Trade at Powell's, but no Newport on them, just the caption bubble. So these are quality purity. We're looking at probably 1915 era, give or take a couple years. So those are nice later styles. I love the reinforced lips and the ounce and cc markings on the sides. So those are pretty cool. And then, of course, these crazy things here. I'm going to try to see if I can get a better lighting. Yeah, that's a little better. I'm going to lie them down. I had no idea these existed, but I dug this clear one here, and then I pulled one of these out, and I nearly fell over. These are absolutely incredible. Probably the best bottles come out of the dump by far. Unlisted cobalts, and they have so much going for them. Sadly, this one has big lip chunk, and this one has cracks in it. The layer these all came out of The newer area of dump was much more burned and the layer is much thinner. So you're having less bottles coming out and a lot that were just absolutely smashed or melted. So I was happy these survived. Even though they weren't in mint shape, still, what a find. Those are some of the best. Here we have another favorite of mine, the Wright and Hayes. So this was a company that was started by Frank Hugh Wright, and then around 1900 again, I think it was like 1905. He had Mr. Hay join him as a partner, and they changed the bottles from a square to this cool kind of semi-oval shape. And these were very hard to find. I only picked up, I think, maybe two in the last 20 years. And then we hit this dump, and look at that. We have a whole whole new collection of them. So we started out, like the small sizes are fairly, I mean, they're all rare, but the small sizes you see the most often. So I got this one here, then I got three at this size, one here, on the edge there, and over there. And then in the center, I got two of the more medium sizes. And then on either end, I got some taller sizes that are scarcer. And that nice big one back there, right here. And then this big one I actually did not dig. I bought this, but I bought it while we were digging the dump, so I figured I'd just throw it in there to complete the family. That's a rare size too. And then of course the monster one in back, an amazing 16 ounce that I dug pretty much the last week when you were able to be in the dump. So that was a great way to end it. And I had no idea I'd find one that size. So yeah, quite the family of these great looking bottles. Here is the other family of Charles M. Coles, which is another very common Newport pharmacy, which I was not surprised in the least to dig in this dump. He was one of the most popular druggists, successful ones in Newport, along with Frank Powell. And there's not a lot of variation to his bottles. Most of them are the same style. They have the ounce markings on the shoulder. The older ones do not, but there were a few little surprises in the dump. So we got a nice 12-ounce size, which I'm very happy with that. And then we got the 8-ounce. Those are both very hard to come by. The smaller sizes in the back are, more standard, what you'll come across. The two in the middle here, unfortunately, they have holes in them. And this one has a little hole somewhere else in the bottom. But those are a new style with the sunken panel, and I had not seen before. So unfortunately, they're damaged, but still, only two known in that shape. I got a small one in the front, and this here is a nice newer version. Again, ounce and CC markings. Give it a little more character, but that's FF and Company Fox Folds out of Boston. So locally made. Most of these are made, I think they're, Widow Tatum's. I think their main factory's out of Philadelphia, so not too local, but yeah, quite a nice family. I'll add, my friends did dig an example I'm hoping to pick up eventually. It's like this size, and all it says is Cole in big block letters. So a plain version, but still a new one I had not seen, and I think at least two of them came out of the dump, so pretty cool. Here we have part of the J.R. Lauren Company family I dug. I have so many, I decided to do them by color, so I'm doing the clear ones first. And so these, before this dump, they were probably the third most common Newport med out there, behind Powell and Cole. And well, I think now they are probably either equal or might have surpassed, because I dug so many of them. It was just absurd. So you can see there's one size that's very common. This, I think they're about 4 inches. I dug 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 10 of those alone. And other sizes are a little less common, but still around. I got a little smaller size there. I got two in the middle that are like a little taller. On the back, got some larger sizes. The big one here is actually quite hard to come by. Nice big size. I dug two of those actually. The other one's in a box somewhere. So I just found what I could. And then, of course, the scarce version, J.R. Laura Dispensing Chemists. I found one with some fire damage. So yeah, it was just odds of me digging one of these. At least I find almost one every time I went to the dump. It seemed, if one to three per day, most days. So it was just a lot of Laura's. But now we get into the good part. Hang tight. All right, so here we have the amber Laura's, which are pretty hard to come by and really nice bottles. Each one of these was a huge rush to dig, um, and so I got the big one in the back. Of course, it's damaged, but it's a one of a kind. I think these were new sizes as well, those larger ones. And of course, I got one in a funky melted shape. It's all there, but no cracks, but still interesting. But I was hoping that would have been more intact. I got a mid-size. I think this is the common size, which is not as common in amber. And I got 3 of the small ones, which seems to be the most popular size for amber ones. I do believe one of these was dug by a friend. I dug the other 2, but still quite a nice looking group right there. And here we have the final set. Some of the absolute gems and criers mixed in together. Yeah, Laura's were not known to exist in cobalt until this dump. And the first one I dug was one of these little tiny ones. And now these come in clear and amber. My friend dug a clear one, and I have an amber one I bought, but we had no idea they were coming in blue too. And so I found that little one. And then not too long after, another size, this mid-size. It's got a little lip flash, but I mean, these cobalt ones seem to be a little more on the fragile side compared to clear ones. And you got this size is actually the most common. My friend dug a mint one, but I was been cursed with 3 damaged ones. So I dug this one first, and I put what's left of it back together, and then I dug this one, which is all there, but it's a little stained, but it looks good from a distance. But it is in fact taped. And my friend dug this one, which he gave to me. And unfortunately, it wasn't mint, but when you're digging in really hard, compact stuff, unfortunately, sometimes stuff gets broken and you can't really do much to stop it. So that one's the most intact of the 3. And then near the end of the dig, as they were starting to do some work on the canal, I pulled out one more cobalt, small. So yeah, those were some phenomenal finds and part of what made this dig so memorable. All these cobalts plus the ones I showed you before from Powell, just absolutely crazy. Okay, next part is the pot lids from Newport. Start out with the first thing I dug was probably first and last actually. These little, they're not, I wouldn't call them a true pot lid because they're flat. They got some cool concentric rings in the back. Mason door, little French ones. I found one of these early on, and then the last thing I found as they were cleaning up the site, another one of them. So that's pretty cool. And also, these were the first ones I found in the video. Oriental toothpaste, Dewsbury and Brown. There's 2 versions: the Arctic Green and the Market Street. It says Chemists. So I found the 3 lids. This one here, you can see it's cracked. I glued it back together. It glued very nicely. 3 lids one day, and then over the next few visits, I actually found the matching bases. I might have found one of the bases the same day I found the lids, but at least 2 of the bases came digs after I found the lids. And then I got another spare base here, and one of the last ones I dug, as they were filling it in, a half a lid. And I gotta check because I think my friend might have found a half lid too, and if it's the same missing piece, that'd be pretty cool. And then later on, I dug my favorite one, obviously, the cherry toothpaste, and I dug it. It was still together. It came out like this, and as I pulled it out with my rake, it separated. On the inside, there was actually remnants of the paper label. So that was really cool. This here is, I guess it's a pot lid. It's a little beat up, but the whole front looks nice. County of Boston. That's the only American one that came out of here. And then I got a few blank lids and bases. This one would have been nice. I'm sure that this kind has a paper label. I've seen them with a label on them. Nice little one. And then these 2. I think these are probably the cherry toothpaste ones because this fits on that perfectly. So I can probably give that away as a, if someone has one of those lids, give that to them as a placeholder base. But yeah, those are the lids. Okay, and here we have the other stoneware dug in Newport. It was probably the best dump I've ever dug for stoneware. So I'll start here in the back with a nice picture. Brown glaze. It's not perfect, but it's mostly there. This one here is a, let's see, what's the stone? I'm trying to remember the stamp. I looked it up. It is a Somerset, Mass marker, but it's not the FB Norton, which everyone is normally familiar with. And not too rare, but a different one, so that's kind of cool. Here's a excellent Edward Smith from Pawtucket, all there, very nice. One of my favorites here is the DW Sheehan, and no issues, just discoloration, no big deal. But that one I have blobs from, so that's pretty cool to have a matching jug. Nice blank jug with no issues. This one is really cool. It's not perfect, but very nice, stenciled Thames Street, Newport C. Sherman Company. So I love that one to be more undamaged, but still a great find. I got a couple of these German seltzer waters. That's just one. Put one there for a token representation. Probably my best non-Rhode Island piece was this here, Harris and Nixon Importers, West Street, New York. Beautiful piece, really nice style. I had a lot of folks wanting to buy that, so I'm not sure if I'll sell it yet because I do like it a lot, but we'll see. And then very similar but not as exciting. This one you can see, this is what happens to the glaze sometimes in a fire, or if it's a lot of frost action, it starts to come off. Fortunately, that's the only one with that kind of damage. And these here are all ginger pots, Japanese. That one's probably the best with the old design on it, but apparently they were very popular in Newport. Of course, a bunch of these marmalades. This has a name on the bottom. Mailing patent. They're like Dundees with no stencil on the front. My best find from Newport, I'd say, is this. Well, besides that one back there, W.T. Libby, Newport, Rhode Island, bean pot. My first one I dug that's fully intact from Rhode Island. Love that piece. This is a stone fruit jar. It's pretty common, but I think I one or two of those in that dump. Classic English, two-tone. And this one here is English, but it has E.T. Cowdery, Boston, on the shoulder, so that's pretty cool. And then in the front I have found a few teapots, but this one is a really cute one. No damage, actually. Very nice glaze. So that's a cool little piece. And of course, the classic Boston baked beans. That one's okay. This one is also okay, Boston baked beans. And these were little sweet beans the kids would eat as like candy. So yeah, quite a haul for stoneware. Alright, so I decided to add another video at the end of this. This is a selection of some of the better colored bottles that came out of the Newport dump. There was a lot of great stuff that I haven't dug before. My first Paizo's. This is the newer one with no cure on it, but still it's a fantastic color. Believe it or not, my first Rumfords with a date on the base. I've dug a bunch of the newer style. That's the first older style, and I live in Rhode Island, so go figure. I got this beautiful Ayers Hair Vigor. The color is actually of more of a peacock blue. It looks kind of cobalt in the video, but it came out mint condition. Classic Capers, also in nice shape. I haven't dug many of these. This is a Laxall AJ White. I was going to focus very well, but those are always fun to find. I dug a number of these John Wyeths. I think maybe 3 of them total, and some of the stoppers. This is a nice colored med, sky blue maybe. Shame it's not embossed, but still unusual. My first amber cone ink, surprisingly, that's a nice lighter amber. And I also dug, actually the very first one was this darker one. Again, that's a Carter's, yeah, 897. So that's a dark one and a light one. I dug a ton of poisons, little sharpened dome, large sharpened dome. Over here I got the poison. I think I dug two of these. I kept one, sold the other one. This, I believe, is actually a Wyeth poison with no embossing. It's the same style as seen elsewhere. Um, Here's a nice Castle Massey, Chemist, New York. We dug probably, I don't know, 50 of these, all smashed in a pile. It was terrible. And that one survived with almost no damage. Um, One of the first color ones I dug was this Bell and Company, Chemist, New York. Double embossed, beautiful color. It's like a odd, funky green. I dug two of those. One was mint. I dug, this is a lactopeptine, I believe, unembossed version. Yeah, another poison Wyeth, base embossed with the hobnails, always nice. I dug a whole family of the Brunswick Pharmaceutical Company. That's what BPCO stands for. I haven't seen these in years, and I got two of the normal size, cute little mini one, and a flat base, which is still tougher to come by. But yeah, those are always great looking bottles. And lastly, actually, no, wait, not lastly, close to it, Larkin Soap Company. These are always beautiful bottles, and I found three of them. These two are the ones in good shape. Both stoppers not stuck, which is pretty impressive. And my favorite ones for the last, Emerson's Rheumatic Cure, Emerson Chemical Company. That's a bromo seltzer company bottle that you do not see very often. So overall, what a color run. More great bottles from a great dump.